The 2025 NFL owners meetings are underway. Mike Vrabel never met a microphone he didn't like. What exactly is Elliott Wolf's job in the first place? Robert Kraft was in the wild, and yes, Bill Parcells is finally getting the call to the Patriots Hall. We got us a big tuna of a six rings today with Fitzy and Mego, so let's go.
Hey, whatever it takes, man. It's all about winning, all right? Win on three. 1, 2, 3, win!
Celebrating the heroes of Foxborough's past.
And with a good block. Look at Vrabel. All the way. Watch the block of number 73, John Hanna.
The champions of the dynastic era.
Adam Vinatieri booms a 48-yard field goal, and the Patriots are Super Bowl champions.
The Patriots of tomorrow.
We're going to remove entitlement from our football team. We're going to earn the right to be here every single day.
And the fans whose faith never wavers. This is Six Rings and Football Things.
There's an energy in the building, which I am proud of, that when I hear that from people around the building, that may be.
Oh, there's an energy in the building. All right. When your old pal, Nick Fitzy Stevens, and the fabulous and talented Miss Megan Ottolini get together for a six rings. And my gosh, we got 10 podcasts worth of Pat's topics to cover today, Mego. I thought we would just be catching up on a couple news notes and nuggets from the owners' meetings. And instead, we just, there's a docket, there's a show, there's a ton to discuss. So what have you heard and what were your first feelings? Just give us a quick lay of the land on where everything is following all of Vrabel's comments, whatever it was that Elliott Wolf said to Kay Adams, who looks like she had just taken a giant bong rip before she spoke to
Hey.
Either that or like she's going to become the meme of like when the gummy hits and you're doing an interview.
I think these are some very early mornings for media folks in Palm Beach. And I know nobody should feel sorry for them, but a lot of media people, a lot of sports writers, sports podcasters, and sports broadcasters are not morning people. We're built for the late nights for primetime games. Okay.
Just like our pal Jeff Stenberg, who's not busy busting my chops over Lad McConkey. This is a live Six Rings and Football Things. Thank you to everybody who subscribes and listens on Spotify, Apple Pods, or the Odyssey app. Or if you choose to watch it live on Facebook or YouTube, like Jeff Stenberg, who sees me wearing a scally cap because I'm long overdue for a haircut and says, "Nice hat, Fitzy. Are you trying out for the Little Rascals musical?"
I'm surprised that thing's staying on your head because your hair has some serious volume. So I'm surprised it's not like puffing it up towards the ceiling.
Oh my God. I've got a dome and a half to begin with, and I'm 2 weeks due for a cut. So now there's no taming the animal right now. And it's not just because my lettuce is excited for Pat's season or the draft to come.
Yeah. So I think to me, like the biggest headline coming out of Palm Beach today is obviously Bill Parcells into the Patriots Hall of Fame.
Huge.
5-time finalist. Huge. And suddenly for one reason or another today, Robert Kraft says, let's just shove him in. Okay. He deserves it. Get that big tuna in my Hall of Fame. And I think it's pretty clear that Kraft is trying to have this be a symbol of the success that the Patriots found the first time they found credibility and legitimacy before the Brady-Belichick era started. And that he is trying to spread around some of the wealth and the honor of the Patriots franchise and trying to make some positive headlines. I really think that's what this is about. He's trying to show a little humility. Hey, we're all past the drama. We're just trying to recognize what we've done well here.
Yeah, there is there are some swirling conspiracies to the idea that maybe because he's trying to obviously get into Canton himself, that maybe by reminding people that some of his accomplishments include hiring Parcells, who brought in Bledsoe, who, they just celebrated. It's no coincidence, by the way, that the Patriots Hall put out a photo yesterday of the 32nd anniversary of flipping the uniforms. It was a photo of Andre Tippett and Pat Harlow unveiling the first of those iterations of the 1990s white and royal blue uniforms. I wouldn't be surprised at all if in recognizing Bill Parcells as a contributor to the Patriots Hall of Fame and announcing it at the owners' meetings, if this is not sort of the latest move a benevolent one at that, for Robert Kraft to try to restore some luster, like you said, to the Flying Elvis, to the organization as well, put a shine on Parcells, which therefore would put a shine to everything he's done. Because as he said this morning, Mego, which I would love to share with everyone right about now, it hasn't been so great around here recently.
Really, really difficult. The worst 2 years of our ownership. And so we try to create a foundation of a new beginning, and I'm pretty excited about what we have.
Okay, two things. One, it's great to hear that both Mike Vrabel and Robert Kraft are talking about a renewed sense of energy in the building. And two, can he ever speak at the owners' meetings without any sort of like crazy ass noises in the background? Like there's a truck backing up again in that one, and then something put on its brakes, or an air conditioner started up out of nowhere, and a compressor.
No.
Like, holy Moses!
He always wants to be in some beautiful garden setting. So they need to squirrel him over into some conference room if you want that level of noise production or sound production. So I don't think so.
It's crazy. There's always something going on in the background. But anyway, Kraft came out today and said that, yes, Bill Parcells has been invited to join the Patriots Hall of Fame as a contributor, and he accepted. There's no announced date yet as to when Parcells will be inducted and get his red coat. I, for one, obviously I double checked everything because it is April 1st. So I wanted to make sure. That would have been the cruelest of April Fool's Day pranks, but it's legitimate. So he will be taking the call to the hall. I'm not sure when the ceremony is going to be. I, for one, believe that he absolutely should be in there. Yes, I do understand how sour things went. Yes, I do understand that he went running into the open arms of a division competitor, and he kind of helped kickstart their chances to get out of the gutter and become something other than the jest, if you will. I know how many phone calls he made to Hempstead, Long Island, from his hotel room in New Orleans at Super Bowl 31. The groceries, the this, the that. I get all of it. That said, his arrival legitimized a franchise that by and large had been a punching bag, a punchline, and a joke for decades. And the rise to ultimately becoming what Brady and Belichick made the Patriots began with the arrival of Bill Parcells. And for that reason alone, let alone how entertaining those 4 years were with 2 playoff berths and 1 Super Bowl bid, I think he absolutely should be in the Pats Hall of Fame.
Fitzy, I think because he's been a 5-time finalist, we're so far past the conversation of whether he should be in or not. To me, the more interesting debate is why now? Like, why force this situation now? What is Robert Kraft trying to communicate to his fan base, to Bill Parcells, to everyone who's been a part of or invested in the franchise? And to me, I mean, just from the outside, like I said before, I feel that what he's trying to communicate is he doesn't want drama around this franchise. He very much wants stability. He wants greatness recognized. He doesn't want to come out of the position of it's 2020 and everybody's trying to grasp at the dynasty belonged to me. The dynasty actually belonged to me. The success belonged to me. No, it was actually me. And where they've been in the last several years of, no, it's that guy's fault. No, it's that guy's fault. Get that guy out of here. It's that guy's fault. I think he's just trying to find some stability and some positive headlines. And that's what that was about today.
Yes. Yeah. It's all about acknowledging, like, look, yes, I am the shepherd of this. I am the owner. My arrival, you could say my arrival, really, as one of our commenters, Greg Donahue, just said, hey, they were almost going to go to Hartford and even worse, St. Louis. There was some leveraging there that was used with the idea of the Patriots leaving town to get the deal. Ultimately, he wanted to build CMGI, best known as Gillette Stadium. But yes, Robert Kraft wants everyone to think of the Patriots as this great legacy franchise and not the team that let Tom Brady go and then futzed around with Belichick and has become a bottom feeder for the past couple of years. So looking at it beyond even just the dynasty, looking at all the great things that have happened over 30 plus years, that begins with Parcells. Yeah, that's kind of the reframing I think that's going on.
Absolutely.
He said it was terrible. And then he also said this morning, Mego, interestingly enough, I think I saw Mark Daniels post the video about if there was a succession plan in place. And Robert said, yes, it's already underway with Jonathan. Now, not that that's not the worst kept secret in town, but for him to admit, like, yes, even I, Valar Morghulis, won't be here forever. so that Jonathan is taking over and will completely take over. That's kind of big for our KK.
Fitzy, it is so frustrating to me. I love you, but you need to now, because of this comment from Robert Kraft, you have to go back and watch every season of HBO's Succession, because that is what we are watching. I think in a football framing, I thought it was very interesting at Mike Vrabel's introductory press conference. Jonathan Kraft was noticeably not part of the program. And that was something that was a big note during Gerard Mayo's introductory press conference.
Oh,
But
he was off attending to something
yeah,
else.
but
Hogwash.
Jonathan Kraft was there. At one point, he kind of moseyed in, and he didn't take a seat or anything, but he stood off to the side and took in a large portion of the program, and then just kind of faded back into the hedges like Homer Simpson in a GIF. And I found that really fascinating that Kraft said, Jonathan has had such a hand in all of these discussions and decisions. Like, that's already underway. We'll see how the next 2 or 3 years go, but he's already a big part of the way that we're making decisions. So the succession plan is already started.
Yeah, no, the succession plan has long since been underway. It was just a matter of time for him to come to the fore and admit that that was the idea. He believes they have the right pieces in place. He also tried to tell us this last year, but we didn't believe that last year. We were all incredibly dubious and doubly skeptical of Thunder Buddies Incorporated, all trying to figure out what the hell they were doing on the fly in the Mayo era. And that obviously didn't work out. Whereas now, as we heard from a month ago at the scouting combine and even before that, everybody is supremely confident in Mike Vrabel. Everyone knows there's a proper organization, there's a proper infrastructure, and there's a bunch of, all right, everybody take a shot, 3, 2, 1, adults in the room that are there to do a good job. Mike Vrabel yesterday, Mego, on Monday of the owners' meetings, made the rounds. You could tell that he was feeling it, although I had a couple people point out to me that he was looking a little tired, to which I could only think, A, he's obviously working, 36 hours in a 24-hour day. B, they traveled, and C, I've heard of some of these parties that go on at the owners' meetings as well. So maybe Vrabes was up, insert the photo of him at the Encore Casino here, staying up late playing cards.
D, lighting is everything.
That's right. I mean, look at me, like, oh, sad Fitzy, whereas you look just radiant and elegant as a daytime TV star right now.
It's my ring light. Thank you, Odyssey.
So Vrabel shows up, walks in, and immediately was being a smart ass with everyone, like, oh, I fly all the way down to Florida just so I can see you guys. Like, his busting the chops of Curran and Daniels and Graff and everybody. Was giving Karen Garrigian the business because they've got such a great back and forth relationship. Does the round table. Then he goes and talks with some other radio station in town. I've never heard of them before. And swings by the set of NBC Sports' Pro Football Talk and has a little chat with Florio about the offseason business and if it's done yet.
Of the guys that you acquired in free agency, is there one that you're most excited about?
The next one. Next one. There's just, you hear some of these guys talk and you meet some of their family, you meet their families, and it's just, I think it gets you excited. I just think that, listening to guys like Morgan Moses, I think what he said is kind of everything that we're going to try to be able to do is, you don't have to have miracles. You don't need miracles to win games. You just got to get the right people in the building at the right time. And that's all we're trying to do, is to have a vision for these guys and give them everything that they need to be successful on and off the field. And
all right. And we're excited about him being able to do that as well. So the free agency moves have been made, Mego. Players have been brought in. I think we're just about done. I can't imagine there are any more significant signings or releases to come.
No, I think it would have to be unless they do something with a tackle. The stopgap tackle that we are pleading for. I think it would have to be a trade if you're looking at anything outside of the draft at this point.
Yeah, I can't see them making any more significant moves. There has been a little bit of a push recently. Yesterday, Vrabel talked about if they get Travis Hunter, and we're not really sure which way this is going to go. Every day there's a new nugget on Shadur is going to go to the Giants. No, he's not. The Cowboys are going to make a play and trade Dak Prescott to Cleveland, which sounds bananas. Cleveland wants this. all the draft mania and the mocking is just going to make us all lose our minds weeks before they finish this up in Green Bay. I don't know what they're going to do, and I don't know if I can hear anything else about Will Campbell and his doll arms. But did you hear what he had to say when he met the media a couple of days ago? In case anyone in the audience didn't get a chance to hear this, this was the much discussed potential draft target for the Patriots, Will Campbell, left tackle out of LSU, talking about the quote unquote short arms that now may prohibit him from being a top 5 choice.
You as a prospect?
For 2 years, nobody had any measurements on me, and nobody said anything about my play. So now all of a sudden, an arm length decides if I'm a good player or not. I think it's BS. But any decision makers in the NFL, they don't really care. It's all people who don't coach, and they don't coach for a reason.
I kind of hear things like that. And then I kind of come around to see that I don't know what to make of this. I swear to God.
Here's where I stand with Will Campbell right now.
All right, please.
Nobody has talked about that because you weren't in the NFL combine, because you weren't going into the draft, because you weren't going to the professional level where this is always a discussion point for whether you're going to play tackle or whether you're going to play guard. And he's not the only one. Calvin Banks is there too. They're looking at guys. Hey, do they really have it in this class for how highly they're mocked to be drafted? Are they really going to play that position because it's such a premium position, no offense, compared to guard? And
correct. And I don't think that they don't need a guard, right? They don't need a guard as badly as they need a left tackle. They've only needed a left tackle for 7 years now.
They kind of need everything, but and maybe corner, which is unusual when people say, well, let's just throw Travis Hunter over at corner if he doesn't.
They got 2 good ones right now.
Receiver. Yeah, they're pretty good at corner right now, at least on paper. With Will Campbell, I feel that it's pretty clear that the Patriots like him and see him as a tackle. And there is a point where yesterday in what Vrabel said about how, hey, you watch his film, he played in the SEC against guys who are going to be drafted into the NFL as well. How do you not project him as a tackle? And I think, what else is Vrabel going to say in that situation? I don't think he would show his hand very heavily if he felt the other way. But it seems clear to me that that's how the Patriots see him. And I'm just not with the number 4 pick. If they pick him there, I still feel like, pardon the pun, but it's quite a reach. And I don't want you reaching for this guy with short arms. I know it's rude and it sounds overly
No,
simplistic.
it's not. It's not. It's okay.
Such a premium position that you have failed to fill over the last 2 off seasons so far.
Forget about even filling the left tackle spot. And I still think they should have signed Tyron Smith to a giant human placeholder in his mid-30s over here type of $10 million deal a while ago, just to make sure there's something resembling a pro in the vein of Morgan Moses on the other side until they figure out the left tackle spot. But going beyond how much of a win it would be to get a left tackle that could be good for 4, 5, 8, 10, 12 years. You just can't blow this pick. You cannot blow this pick. Robert Kraft said after we shared that clip earlier of him saying how miserable the last couple of years have been, he also said they don't ever want to be picking as high as number 4 again. You have this, I know it should have been 1 overall, and unfortunately the gift, if you will, that Mayo left the team with was that awful win with Joe Milton against the Bills in the finale where they figured out a way to out-tank the Pats. So you have the 4th overall pick. Nail the pick. Find a blue chipper, lock up left tackle, whatever it is. You just can't reach, if you will, like you said. You have to nail this pick because you should never be picking this high again. And this player should be a cornerstone, a foundation piece for the Mike Vrabel era Patriots. Now, people keep talking about how Will Campbell's attitude, his aura, his energy, his defiance, his nastiness is 100% Mike Vrabel ball. Dante Scarnecchia was at a sports card and collectible show that I was at on Saturday with Wiggy in Quincy, the Northeast Sports Card Expo. And our old pal Jason Rossi from used to work at the midday shows at EEI. I had a chance to interview him for socials. And Scar said it doesn't matter. Like if his arms are just a little too short or people think that he's not going to be able to this, that, and the other, like if he's a good football player, I'd be able to work with him and they should be able to as well. Last thing he's concerned, if Scar, I mean, that's the kind of thing people around here want to hear, Mego, like,
yeah.
Boom,
and I'm
Scar stamped.
I'm not one to sit here and doubt Dante Scarnecchia. He's going to have a better read on that than anybody, but we did hear just last week that what the Patriots are looking for is BPA, best player available. If you're sitting in there at 4 and you are between, let's just say, Travis Hunter is there and Will Campbell is still sitting there.
I got to go Hunter.
Does anyone want Will Campbell? This is where I am trying to parse through the messaging that we're getting directly from Kraft, from Elliott Wolf, from Mike Vrabel, most of all, because I do think that he holds the cards with what's going to happen in the first round. And I'm just hopeful still that they're going to go for best player available, and assuming that that's going to be Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, although it increasingly seems like he's not going to be there. We're all just trying to predict.
Yeah. Because now Kirk Cousins may go to the Cleveland Browns.
The Will Campbell stuff it just scares me. It just scares me.
Yep. Okay. People agree with you. Greg Donahue watching live on Facebook. Travis Hunter all day long, Mego. If Travis Hunter and Will Campbell are both there, to me, you have to take the guy who just has absurd talent in every athletic way possible, who any good coach, any good coordinator, any good team, any good quarterback, any good defensive coordinator, any good anybody that plays or is involved with professional football should find a way to work with the athleticism.
Find a spot for him.
In the multi-talented toolbox of gifts that works with that comes with Travis Hunter. And like I said, Vrabel would be open to potentially playing him on both sides of the ball, which I kind of love to hear. He also mentioned that they likely will be in the market for a running back as well, adding some speed and dynamics to the room that has Gibson and Ramondre in it. He added that Barmore is going to be joining the offseason program, that his rehabbing and the blood clotting issue
awesome,
turning a positive corner, which is awesome. Love to hear that. Pairing him with Milton Williams could be absolutely dynamite on the Patriots defensive line. But when it comes to that player that they get at number 4, who do we believe is going to be making the call? I got to say, the aforementioned Elliott Wolf conversation with Kay Adams yesterday did not do any favors to get me thinking that this is ultimately Elliott Wolf's call.
It was really cool. He came over to the scouting area and was just watching film with us and meeting with the scouts and getting to know everyone. That's a really big thing, just culturally, that he's wanting to see what everyone's about.
Translation, Mike Vrabel has gone to every leg of the couch and peed on it this offseason to tell everyone no who's in charge.
He's making laps around the dog park.
100%. He's
laying down a fence.
He has sniffed every undercarriage. He's had his snout in every butt. He has peed in every corner, wherever he could lay a drop. Take it from 2 dog owners to an audience of Patriots people. This call, and there was more audio from Elliott Wolf with Kay Adams yesterday, but translation through all of it, you don't need to listen to all 10 minutes. We'll shorten it up for you. We'll Cliff's Notes it real quick. Mike Vrabel's making the ultimate call as to who they take it for and who the big decisions will be this April in Green Bay.
Certainly seems that way. Certainly sounds that way. I think that's the right move. I know that even when you listen to him talk in previous press availabilities, he talks so much about how he's having his supporting staff of coaches turn in their own report cards on guys from free agency and in the draft. So I'm sure that the scouts that the work that they've been doing since last regular season on these college kids still holds a lot of weight. But I also think that it's clear that, he's brought in his own guys from Stretch to Cowden and he values their input as well.
Yes. They're the guys in charge now. Like there's no need to even insert the old, like, hey, look at me. I'm the captain now. Like we get it. Yeah. No, Mike, we know you're the largest person in every room that you walk in. So you already tower over people and they cower in return to your size and intimidating style. It's exactly the way that I want it to be as well. A couple other notes out of the owners' meetings of interest to Patriots people and Pats Nation. I incidentally stepped on your toes earlier when I wanted to say this regarding the draft, but there's momentum building, according to Diana Rossini, for the Falcons to trade Kirk Cousins to Cleveland. So if he starts for a year or two in Cleveland, while Deshaun getting, pardon my French, shitloads of money from them, I guess the Falcons would have to pay a lot of it, while Cleveland pays S-loads of money to Deshaun Watson to not play football for them, while Kenny Pickett, who has the hand equivalent of Will Campbell's arm, sits on the bench behind him. That's still not going to be a very good football team, but that likely would give them the time to draft a quarterback later or look for a quarterback next year, de-emphasizing the need to grab one at 2 likely then sending Abdul Carter to Cleveland to the mistake by the lake, which will give them possibly the most dynamic, feared pass rush since DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller with the 2015 Broncos, maybe even better. You give me Abdul Carter and Myles Garrett. Cleveland will be in a lot of games by default. That would be a smart move by them. And then the Giants hold all the cards. I've watched a bunch of videos where it's like Sanders to the Giants is a lock, but they just spent all this money on 2 placeholder quarterbacks in Jameis versus Dangerous. I don't think anybody knows what they're doing except throwing QB darts at a wall, hoping one will stick and help Dayball keep his job.
I think so too. And I've heard both sides of this, that this indicates that they wouldn't be in on a quarterback, drafting a quarterback. And others saying there's just no way that they can move forward with their franchise without their fans starting a revolution in New York if they don't draft a quarterback this time around. So those are 2 franchises that I would look at in Cleveland and the New York Giants and say, well, at least you're not them. You're not in a great place. I loved the comment from Vrabel with the media yesterday where he was like, we had a fantastic March. And then he had to clarify and be like, that's a joke. But they did very well in March. They, at least on paper, were able to plug a lot of the holes that they had. The biggest one is still there at left tackle. But I think that in bringing in Steph Diggs and a lot of the other moves they made in free agency, they made a lot more progress than I thought they were going to. And so they're slowly digging themselves out of the cellar. Those 2 teams are still in a much worse position because of what you were able to do in the draft last year and getting Drake May.
Yeah, Vrabel joked that they won the month of March, so he sees that as huge. And everyone was like, really? And he's like, no, he just didn't even bother saying no, I'm joking. Like the look on his face when people sort of like, what? Like, come on, guys. Obviously, no, we had a good month. It's a good start. He knows there's a blank load of work that the team still has to do leading up to the draft, not in addition to just through the draft and beyond. Finally, Mego, yes, let's hope as many people continue to reiterate in our comments watching live as we record the latest 6 rings. In the trenches we go. Yes, get big, get fat, get strong, build from the inside out as well. And that's why the Barmore health situation and recovery and rehab is such a big deal for them. And who knows? He also said Cole Strange is going to compete with Garrett Bradbury for the center's job. Jake Andrews is going to get looks at left guard and center as well. So there's going to be an open competition from some people that have gotten some looks, people that we haven't heard much from. Again, whatever's in the best interest of the football team. And finally, NFL-wide, Mego. Okay, so it looks like the tush push will not be banned.
Can we stop with this?
You're done? That's it? No more tush push?
It's such a stupid conversation to me. I understand why people don't like the tush push play and why they're trying to say it's a safety risk.
I liked brotherly shove better. Tush push is just so dumb.
But the play itself, one team is executing it at a successful level. It's because of the type of quarterback they have and the fantastic offensive line and offensive line play that they have. It's not like it's something that's taking over the bulk of the NFL. It's not a league-wide issue to me. It's an issue if you feel it's an issue, which I don't, even though I hated watching them run it against the Commanders in the conference championship.
You root for a team that was victimized on the biggest stage by said tush push or brotherly shove.
Like it's gonna solve itself naturally. It's not something that's really replicable. So I just think it's annoying that we keep having to go through this every spring now when it's just one team who does it.
I don't see a lot of other teams doing it. Other teams have tried to do it, like the Patriots, I think once or twice. They sucked at it. The Bills tried it against the Chiefs. They sucked at it. It's because the Eagles have a dominant, massive, thunderously large offensive line and a quarterback that can squat 605 pounds. If you want to stop it, get some defensive linemen equally sized that can also squat over a quarter of a ton, and that'll solve itself.
It's just a special case. And so I don't think it requires an entire league-wide change. And it's annoying that it comes up every spring. It just looks like sour grapes for every other team who's complaining about it.
Yeah, like Zane Hancock, who's watching on Twitter. The tush push is just a QB sneak. It's not that controversial. Teams just can't stop it. Correct. And I think that's how the majority of the owners feel. And it was just salty sour grapes from the Green Bay Packers, another team that was victimized by it in the postseason in their suggestion. A couple things that someone else that didn't pass, the Lions' proposal to not have defensive holding or defensive pass interference turned into an automatic first or illegal contact, I think it was, not turned into an automatic first down. did not pass. So therefore, if you get in someone's way to stop a play from the cornerback or safety spot, or you're a linebacker, guess what? It is still going to be a first down. But obviously that's because it's a lot easier to get in someone's way and stop a touchdown as opposed to when you do it on offense for 5 or for 10 yards. However, kickoffs now will lead to touchbacks on the 35, trying to incentivize people to actually run the kick back or not to kick the ball into the end zone. What do you think about that?
I like it. I like them trying to increase the dynamic play in special
Mm-hmm.
teams. I think it should have that effect. We'll wait till we see it in the regular season, but it seems like an improvement, and they'll talk up the safety side of it as well, like they did when they first adjusted this last offseason. I don't know how much of that is legit, but if it means, more dynamic play for the part of the game that I think a lot of people care about the least, then I'm all for it.
I like Zellslayer's comment here. He says, I liked Vrabel's comment on the tush push. What are we going to ban Lamar from running because he's so good at it?
No,
fair,
it's
fair
true.
point. Yeah.
If you look at the Commanders, and shout out to Scheim, who I think is still on the beaches of Florida right now on vacation, he pointed out to me that that Jaden Daniels running on for first down on third down for a conversion is pretty much the same success rate as the Eagles tush push last season.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has their special sauce. I'm sorry that you don't like the Eagles.
And finally, both teams will get to possess the ball in overtime now. So scoring a touchdown on the opening drive does
In
not
regular
mean
season.
In regular season.
Yeah.
So they're kind of adopting the postseason overtime rules into the regular season. Overtime is 10 minutes long, and you get a possession. No, you get a possession. Everybody gets a possession.
Fitzy,
Honestly, I think it's fair.
Who's the first NFL coach who forgets that this is the new rule?
Oh, that's a good question. Yours.
Oh, very rude. That's to the audience. Yours. Whoever you're
I know.
thinking of, it's your coach.
Who's going to be the first coach to see the other team score a touchdown and start to take his headset off and go, "Oh shit, wait, we get the ball now." That's funny. It is going to happen once. That is definitely going to happen once where someone's going to forget.
I'd say McDaniel.
You think Mike McDaniel?
I think he's hitting the vape and then
Yeah.
forgets that his team actually gets
and
a
then
shot.
hands his clipboard over to someone and they're like, "No, coach." He's like, "Oh, sorry. All right, Reek, Tua, everyone get out there. HN, let's go." Interesting. Very productive owners meetings. Very interesting, very involved. Right now, of course, it's the time of year where everyone feels like they have a chance, except for the Jets, of course. Oh, and Aaron Rodgers hasn't signed with anybody, but nobody cares about him because he's a dink. Any final thoughts, Mego?
Not particularly. Enjoying the Steph Diggs content that continues to come out. I was very, very impressed in person with him on Friday. Like, I am a sucker for charm and charisma and somebody who comes off as super smart. And that's what he did on Friday in his press conference. So fingers crossed that the rehab continues to go well for him.
He's ahead of schedule, according to all accounts as well, has said that he'll be out there week 1. Schefter confirmed it. So did his trainers and his doctors as well. If he's out there and he's 85% of Steph Diggs at his best, even if he is about to turn 32 this NFL season, I still think you're going to have a volume monster, a target hog, and a badass that is going to whip the rest of that room into shape. A room that Mike Vrabel, I'll end on this, did say should be improved by contributions from Polk and Baker, who many have said did not get coached properly last year and deserve a second chance. I'm not in so much on the Polk, but I love me some Javon, and I'm a hoping and a praying that he can heal the Lad McConkey wound deep in my Patriots' heart.
This is my new thing, Fitzy. The way that we say Polk and Baker is very much Lexington and Concord. The two are tied together through history now. You cannot separate them from that draft and what happened with Lad McConkey the same way that we can't separate Lexington and Concord. So for forevermore, it will be Polk and Baker whenever we refer to one of them. We can't just talk about one of their successes this season.
I know. The one goes, we all go. Exactly. All right. We thank you guys for tuning in. However you decided to consume the latest 6 Rings and Football Things, brought to you by WEEI Odyssey and 2400 Sports. We will continue to try to bring you our perspective, thoughts, and analysis, plus that of people who actually know what they're talking about. I speak, of course, on behalf of myself, not the fabulous, talented, and always wise and knowledgeable Miss Megan Onalini. Give her a follow at Megan_Onalini. You know where to find this jabroni. afternoons on EEI, and then probably at the local brewery, bar, or at the bottom of a pint glass, wherever people are talking Pats. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll have some more pods later this week. The draft is 3.5 weeks away. We cannot wait. Your thoughts are always welcome at 6 Rings Pod. Until the next episode, take care, everybody. Good